Most people assume that if Apple keeps the same design language across generations, accessories like cases will continue working without any issues. But the early leaks around the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max suggest things might not be that simple this time. At first glance, the leaked cases look almost unchanged. The familiar flat-edged frame is still there, the MagSafe ring position appears identical, and the large camera cutout still dominates the upper corner. It's the kind of design that makes you think Apple is just repeating the same formula again. But accessory leaks are rarely about what you immediately see. They're about what quietly changed underneath. Even though the display sizes are expected to stay around 6.3 inches for the Pro and 6.9 inches for the Pro Max, case manufacturers don't start production this early without extremely precise measurements from the supply chain. That usually means Apple has finalized something important that doesn't necessarily show up in marketing renders. And the biggest clue is the camera module. The cutout on these leaked cases appears slightly larger and deeper than current models. That doesn't sound dramatic, but in Apple terms, even a fraction of a millimeter shift usually signals a meaningful hardware change. Current reports suggest the iPhone 18 Pro lineup could introduce a larger 48MP sensor system with variable aperture technology, which naturally requires more internal and external space. That explains why older cases might not fit as cleanly as expected. Even if they technically fit, users could run into subtle but frustrating issues: slight pressure around the camera bump, uneven alignment, or button feedback that feels slightly off. Then there's the body itself. Leaks point toward a slightly thicker chassis on the iPhone 18 Pro Max, reportedly around 8.8 millimeters. On paper, that increase sounds almost invisible. In reality, case engineering is extremely tight. Even a small shift in thickness can affect how tightly a case wraps around the frame or how securely it snaps onto the device. That extra thickness is also not random. It aligns with reports of a significantly larger battery, potentially in the 5,100 to 5,200 mAh range, which would make it one of the biggest batteries ever used in an iPhone. Combined with upgraded camera hardware, it's clear Apple is prioritizing endurance and imaging over thinness. Under the hood, the rumored A20 chip is expected to bring another major shift. But the real architectural change may not just be performance, it's how components are arranged internally. Reports suggest tighter integration between memory and processor components, which could improve speed, efficiency, and sustained performance during heavy tasks like gaming or video recording. On top of that, RAM across the Pro lineup may finally move up to 12 gigabytes, which would significantly improve multitasking and on-device AI features. Connectivity is also part of the upgrade cycle. Apple is reportedly working on a new in-house modem design focused on stronger signal stability, lower power consumption, and better 5G efficiency. Satellite communication is also expected to expand beyond emergency use, potentially moving toward more practical off-grid communication features. Even the release strategy might shift. Some leaks suggest Apple could split launches, with Pro models and a possible foldable arriving in late 2026, while standard models follow later in 2027. That would be a noticeable change from Apple's traditional unified release cycle. And then there are the smaller details, like a rumored dark cherry color for the Pro lineup, which would stand out against Apple's usual muted titanium and metallic finishes. When you step back, the pattern becomes clear. Apple is not radically redesigning the iPhone 18 Pro on the surface. Instead, it's refining the existing design while making major internal upgrades: bigger cameras, larger batteries, faster silicon, and improved connectivity. But that's exactly what creates the accessory problem. Because in Apple's ecosystem, almost identical is not the same as compatible. Even tiny structural adjustments can break fit, alignment, and usability for cases designed around the previous generation. So while the iPhone 18 Pro may look familiar at first glance, the real question for most users won't be about design. It will be whether their old accessories still work or whether Apple has quietly reset the rules again.